Welcome, denizens of the night, to Fangs After Dark. In a previous entry, we covered and discussed what a kindred is, and what I personally thought the key defining factors that make up a kindred. But another question to ask is, how does a kindred become kindred? How do you make a kindred? How do you make a vampire? Pop culture has many stories regarding this, and tonight we'll sink our teeth into that. Enjoy, and remember, nothing good ever happens after dark. What is there to say about the creation of a vampire when somebody is born into the life or the unlife of a kindred, of a vampire, of a canite? The process to doing so is actually a fairly straightforward affair, though depending on the individual performing it, it can be something lavishly ceremonial, or something quick, dirty, visceral, something intimate, or something horrific. This is known as the embrace. This is the nomenclature given to the rite of creation in the world of darkness for kindred. Why do vampires create other vampires? That is something that is deeply personal for the individual who's creating a new kindred. There are many reasons that could exist. Loneliness, personal power growth, the need of a pawn, the need of a partner. Who knows? The only thing that's constant is the creation of a kindred works the same for every vampire performing it. The mortal must be drained completely of their blood. Any method will do, but most usually will feed off the mortal and sup on their blood themselves, creating a more intimate situation, as feeding on a mortal's blood, also known as the kiss, will put the mortal in a state of euphoric delirium. After the blood has been drained by whatever method, the sire, the one creating this new vampire, will give this ensanguinated mortal some of their own blood, their vitae. This is the catalyst for the change. It isn't the draining of the blood, it is the given vitae that is then put into the drained mortal's body. The change from mortal to kindred is instantaneous, though the process can last for hours or even months depending on the clan that they are. Your body goes through some physiological changes. Burning sensations envelop you as your body starts to remove unnecessary waste as it is no longer living. Your mind begins to warp as the beast starts to take hold. The beast is born inside of you. As the mortal changes, they will awaken in a hunger frenzy. Of course, they had been ensanguinated before this. There was no blood in their system aside from the paltry, small amount that was given to them to incite the change. They will be hungry, and they will frenzy to satiate this new hunger. And amongst all this, the new kindred will also feel the most ecstasy they've ever felt in their entire lives. The change, initially, is something of an ambrosia. But a great many things can happen from here. Like I said, depending on the clan, which we can get into at a later date, the change can differ. Different things can happen to the Cainite. Every clan has their own special, unique aspects to their blood lineage that can affect how somebody changes. And this is where the variables of time take hold. Anywhere between a few hours to maybe a few months, if they're unlucky. Some other key factors about the embrace itself. Animals cannot be embraced. There is ancient writings describing an ancient Setite Methuselah who had successfully embraced some cobras, but that is unconfirmed. No, only mortals can be embraced. There is also some whisperings of other supernatural creatures getting embraced and the differing effects that it may have on them. But I would suggest you do not find out. To embrace the blood that is given to the newly made kindred must come directly from the vein of the sire. The potency of vitae loses its luster very quickly outside of the vein. Rituals and blood sorcery notwithstanding. If 2 or more individuals were to feed their blood into a kindred that is supposed to be newly made, the blood of the eldest among them will be the vitae that is taken by the mortal to turn them into a kindred. When a kindred is made by the embrace, they are of 1 generation lower than their sire, and we can go into more detail as to what this means in another night. Depending on your political stance within kindred society, and yes, politics do exist, we can get into that another time as well. But different groups may have different philosophies on embracing. Some may enforce stricter rules of creation, while others do it freely to the point where it could absolutely become a problem. The embrace itself is a ritual, in a way, of new life in Undeath. Do not take it lightly. The responsibility of doing such an act is heavy, and you must approach any embrace with great care. Otherwise, you will find the consequences to be quite dire.